Okay, hello, my name is Ian, also I'm known as Chroming, and this is Generantis, so I'm here to show you how this game actually works and get a little more info about how what's going on in development and everything. So basically what I've been working on was a little bit of, there's some graphical improvements as you can see because a friend of mine is actually working on the art for this game and stuff, which is nice. So we have that going, and basically what I mostly added was the item pack system. Now, before I get into this, I need to explain what the game is about. This is a 2D side-scrolling shooter game, basically, with platforming, block breaking, kind of basically just a huge like game with a lot of items that you can get and stuff. You can travel between planets, do all these quests and stuff that come up from people. And basically you can create your own quest too by doing different things in the game that get recorded and then saved for other people to play. And you can also make your own mods of different items. So if we're in here, we can go to the weapon, and you can see there's a recoil script here. And this is a recoil script. It's a script that it's basically like a component on the item, because this is like a kind of has a really huge item system like how Path of Exile, Diablo 3, and all the other games work. But basically, you have all these different things, and you have scripts that define all these different events that not what they do. So if you shoot with this weapon, it will push the player at the angle plus 180 degrees, so push him backwards with a force of between 0.1 and 2. So we'll do that. And yeah, basically this game has an inspiration from Path of Exile, as you can see, because these items have different item types. This is just weapon. If you go down, you see melee, and then it just gives a little bit more specific. Like this is a glove item, and the glove is interesting. It has a script called throwing, which I just added recently, which lets you. It doesn't shoot the projectile, but instead it takes the closest projectile and it shoots that with extra damage. So that's kind of how it works. The main idea of the game that I'm trying to aim towards though right now is trying to make the gameplay very interesting and have all the items in the game have very cool abilities that can synergize with each other. So you could possibly have a character that likes to shoot boulders around because there's a boulder projectile on here, and in the boulder projectile it has a script where it just bounces off things, and you can shoot those that bounce off the ground, and they basically you can throw them again with the glove, and they can do extra damage. So you can do all different little things. You can have a class that when he kills monsters, they turn into allies, and then if you use a certain skill that explodes your allies, then you can have a bunch of suicide bombing characters that you can just convert from the enemy to bombs that you can just explode on people. So it's pretty interesting, and there's a lot of different little things you can do. But personally, at the moment, I haven't added much of that yet, but I've added some things, and it's proven its potential so far. So if we get into the game, you can see we're in a completely randomized world because this is the plan Generantis, and it's always random every time you enter it. So it's gonna have all these different random blocks, and this goes on infinitely, so you can just keep flying. I'm gonna turn on God mode just for the sake of this video. And when I fly, I shoot. I spawn these little bomb projectiles blocks behind me. Now, all the bombs in the game are destructible, or usually they are meant to be destructible, so you can make them have a certain amount of health, and then when they run out of health from shooting at them, they'll explode. Just like that, just exploding projectiles, because the block actually executed a script when it broke that spawned a bunch of projectiles that shot out and did damage to people. So it can do a lot of cool things. Like you have a class, for example, where you just shoot bombs behind you. So I can just keep shooting bombs behind me and do a bunch of explosions. So I can get pretty overpowered pretty fast. So it can get pretty wild. I can just explode all those. They do somewhat pretty good damage. These are some players that just spawn. So if you shoot them, they can drop themselves, because everything in the game is an item, including the player even. So I can just loot this player, and I can use him like for another planet that I created, and it could be in that planet. I can make a map that has 23 room dungeons that spawn with that affix down there. So basically I can just put this in the generator, and I can spawn new planets. So I can put this player in there, I could put boulders in there, I could put, this one has, I think this one has more rooms in it, so I can put that one in there for the dungeons. And this is a blank stick, I'll put that in there too. So we'll call it Chaos 1, and just type in description. And now we spawned our planet off the branch. So if you click on these planets, they branch off to other ones that you've created by playing on the one before it. So I played this one twice, I created these 2 planets, and I can play on these. So that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna land Chaos, and I spawned with already some stuff, but that's probably because, yeah, I got the blank sticks now, so I can just use these. So now, I don't have the teleport script on it right now, but basically you can teleport with a right click, and let's use a glove. You can teleport with a glove. I need to get a weapon first. So let's get a weapon. Let's get bombs too, so we can use that. That caused a lot of explosions. There's also a glitch right now currently where the projectiles spawn as like things on you. You shoot them. Like items that you can pick up. So basically here's a quest. And it just kind of finishes really quickly because there's not much to it right now at the moment, but let's look for item. Let's actually go to a different planet because I probably only spawning blank sticks there. Okay, so we got weapon, we got glove. Okay, so if we take out the boulder, we can shoot those. They bounce on the ground here. And I can switch to blanks. I can switch to the glove, and I can start shooting those out with that. And they do extra damage too. I could probably increase the launch speed as well, but at the moment it's just gonna shoot them a little bit. So this is a little bit of a challenge. We need to like, there we go. I did 1,400 damage because it did extra damage because of the script. If you look in the script right now, see where the script is. So in this script, we increase the damage multiplied by the launch divided by 5. So the launch can be pretty high, so I can do a lot more damage than usual. So it's kind of like a little bit of like a thing you can kind of do to experiment with your character. But basically, the whole idea of the game is to like go through all these planets. That's like what the goal is. It's to go through all these planets that people have created and doing quests and getting loot and basically trying to create an adventure of your own, basically. So if you get to the end game, you usually want to like get legendary items, which I haven't gotten in the game yet, but basically you can take an item and you can convert it to a legendary. So I can take this blank stick and it has really good stuff on it. I can make it a legendary item and it'll drop as that item but with slightly better or worse stats each time. And if I want, I can get another version of that item, make that a legendary. I can just keep continuing to build up the stats so I can eventually get really high level stats. The game doesn't really have any levels in it. You just kind of like get the items, and the overall like the items themselves as you go down the tiers, because each of these are kind of like tiers. Like you start with melee, start with a weapon, then you go to melee, and then you go to glove, and then you just keep going down and down through the folders of items until you get like higher level, like higher tiered items that do more interesting things. So that's kind of how it works. This right here is actually a dungeon I spawned in, or right here. So it's a script that actually spawned the dungeon. If I can find the script, I can show you it. It's in the map thing. And then I can go to static. And this is what a script looks like for a dungeon. There's some new line errors because I've been converting between Mac and Windows, but basically it gives you like a for loop of all the different rooms. And each time you do a room, you define the size of the room, like decide which direction you're going to go with the next room, and then you actually draw a room with the root class, which you can do a rectangle, you can do a line, you can do stuff like that. You can dig lines, so it all got dug out like as if you're like coding like the different shapes to be drawn. So this is a huge rectangle, that's a huge rectangle. So it does all that. Creates these like little rooms you can do stuff in. And also the dug rooms in the game actually have a higher chance to spawn quests in them. So that's another interesting thing. The reason I'm not dying, by the way, is because I've got mode on just so I can test this. Usually when you do this quest, there'll be like a big event that you have to do. Right now at the moment just spawns a few monsters, and if you finish the quest, it drops items from the quest. And if other people record their quests when they're playing, then they can like have other people play on them, and then they'll find these quests to activate automatically and they defeat them. So that's basically the whole idea of the game so far. I kind of explained most of it currently in its current state, and where I'm planning on having it go. So yeah, that's basically the general idea of the game, and what I'm expecting for this game in the future is adding more items and stuff, so having more of these items be added, like projectiles and possibly more maps and quests and stuff. And just overall, like, more items, because the game really relies a lot on items, because it's basically everything about the game, with, like, how everything works. So, that's basically how the game works, so, thank you for watching. I'll be showing more videos in the future later as well. So, if you like this, just, hang around and stick around and watch more. And I'll probably share more information. My Twitter handle is chromingdev, and my Reddit is chroming, so if you see me on Reddit, I'm on there too, posting sometimes about my game and stuff. But at the moment, I've been kind of like low on the radar with this game. I haven't really posting much on the internet at all about this. So it's about time I started making a video or two. So that's how my game kind of works right now at the moment. So thank you for watching.